Hello, everyone. Hope we're doing well. Hello, everyone. Blah, 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 blah. I can no longer speak. I'm Adam Steele for Hot Pole Studios, and I've been moving house for a week, and my brain is completely fried. Adam Bradbury, I love this song. Cool. But the song, you mean the intro. Bum, bum. Awesome. Hey. So this is going to be my new setup. You can see I've got some funky LEDs going, and there's going to be amps and stuff in there, and then guitars hanging on the wall behind me. Right now it's a complete mess, but I wanted to kind of test the system out, and I've got a song in that I've been really dying to mix. A lot of my stuff's still in boxes, but as it happens, I found my old Mark 1 Audion ID4 in a box. So I've got that to monitor off, which is great. The ID4 Mark II was what was used to record this song, as well as the Lewitt 440 Pure vocal microphone. So this, I'm going to play you the rough mix. This is a girl called Erin Snape. She's 16, and I first heard her on Adam Neely's YouTube channel, and I was incredibly impressed. And so I, last week, has sent her the ID4 Mark II and that Lewitt mic, and this is what she came up with, all recorded herself in Logic. So this is the rough mix that she's done, and what we're going to do is kind of analogify this and make it big and fat and warm and kind of a bit more controlled. Now let's have a listen to the original mix and then get cracking. Oh, sorry.
Step outside, look at trees, look at berries, with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time. With the dog barks and echoes you where a warm thing is waiting to life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Oh.
So there you go. That's the very rough mix from Erin of this song, Warm Things. And yeah, it's funny that Ace in chat says dynamic range. Actually, probably going to have removed a lot of that dynamic range. And I don't mean I'm going to just flatten it. I mean, it's still going to have big dynamic range, but a more radio friendly dynamic range. And we're not just going to like smash it with the compressor to do that. We're going to do it properly. That's the idea, is make it feel like it's got dynamic range, feel warm, feel thick, feel natural, but at the same time not have this much dynamic range, because dynamic range is the secret to great recording. Wrong. The perception of dynamic range is the secret to great recording. Think of any great Motown hit, 0 dynamic range. That was a block. Think of any great pop music from the last 40 years. No dynamic range. It's a block. But the arrangements go up and down and lift. And there is some volume change, but not 30 dB like this. So there you go. But it's all perception. And that's why I have to be very careful here to make this sound the best that it can without robbing it of that dynamic range. And that's why I'll have to be quite clever in a lot of ways. So come with me on this journey. Now there's a lot going on here. There's kind of a makeshift drum kit. There's a lot of Audio 19, Audio 20. I'll rename them and colour a lot of this in as I go. A lot of these tracks, if Erin is watching this, are incredibly quiet. Has that just got one thing on that entire track? I very, very rarely normalize things. Oh, that's... Yeah, so I very, very rarely normalize things. But in this case, I've had to do that a little bit on some of these tracks. Okay, it looks like I didn't need to do that after all. Hello, Marty. Hello, everybody. Make yourselves at home, guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute every track of this. There are 3 at the end called Sum, which I'm guessing Erin kind of grouped things and then exported them, because I also have those tracks individually, and that's how I will work. Okay, Divanish, you've asked the same question twice. Relax. Do you recommend Reaper for a beginner EDM producer? No. Use FL Studio or Ableton Live. They are designed for electronic music. They will work a lot better for you. So. Oh, I've hit the nudge button. What I'm going to do is start this and do a basically top-down mix. Let's have a listen. Oh, hello, Erin. You saw my message. Good stuff. So yes, one thing that let's say to Erin, if you didn't catch what I said before, everything was recorded incredibly quietly. So don't be afraid of that gain knob. Try and get it so that when you're blasting, if you're looking at the meters, when you're really going for it, you might be seeing levels of -12, -10. That's still fine. This was all super quiet, which is okay, because that Audion ID4 Mark II that I sent and the Lewitt mic both have incredibly low noise floors, which means I can turn things up and up and up and up. In this case, look at the main vocal. I've added 23 decibels to this, which is a massive boost. And yet...
And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you.
That sounds great. How's the mix going? Oh, well, we have barely begun, but good. This is very much the start of this mix. We played through the rough mix, and we're about to get into it. So, this is probably one of those mixes where I'm going to do what you would call top-down mixing. First thing I'm going to do is make myself a nice analog master chain. So I'm going to use the Slate virtual tape on the 2-track master, changing it to the 456 tape because that's the big fat warm analog one. Then I'm going to go for the Shadow Hills mastering compressor, which I'm probably not going to do much with. And it might not even do anything, but this is the kind of thing where it should be fairly set and forget. And I think that's all I need on the master output. So let's start with the main guitar and the main vocal. I'm going to start with the main guitar. Okay. Considering buying UAD. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm going to go channel mode mono. Just one channel here because this guitar was recorded in mono, so it doesn't need to be a stereo track. At least not in Reaper, it doesn't need to be a stereo track to get stereo effects. And I'm going to start coloring these, and I'm going to bring in different groups. So I'm going to call this the vocal group. Oh, I must have caps lock on. Vocal group. And add the vocal to that. I'm going to make this a guitar group. And add the main guitar to that. Because then I can do nice things like I can color them so that we can see everything. And now I'll be able to, as I go, add tracks to folders. And make myself an effects group. Okay, so I'm going to start this with 2 different reverbs. So I'm going to use a very short room reverb, and I'm going to use a nice long plate. Probably not much plate on the guitars. Again, not much on the main vocal, but I'm going to be starting that way. So let's color these before we even press play, and I know roughly what I'm going to do. So this room reverb, I'm going to use Slate's Verb Suite Classics. Do I prefer the Class A? Yeah, having back-to-back compared the plugins of the Shadow Hills Mastering Compressor and the Class A wins every time for me. It just has a clarity to it that I feel like the regular one just holds things back a bit. So I'm going to add this to the Bricasti Studio B Close. And the plate, I'm going to use the Lustrous Plates from Liquid Sonics that's in the Slate bundle. Is grouping the same as creating a bus? Kind of, but it's just better organizationally. It sends all the tracks up through the folder, and the audio comes through the folder like a bus, but it also has organizational benefits to it, which just makes things a lot easier for me. So now it's guitar group and it's guitar main. Fantastic. So this is where we start doing. So I'm going to go to a louder section of the song for my general kind of mix palette, and then it should, in theory, still sound right on the quieter sections. So my guitar here, I'm going to go with a channel strip from Lindell. Which one is it? That one. Is it the Lindell 50 channel or the 80 channel? No, it's the 80 channel I want. The 80 channel? Where are you? That's the one. So let's have a listen to this. Take some super low end out of it. Which transformer am I going to use? Honestly, I don't care. They don't make enough of a difference to me to care, and I'll keep trying them. It's not snake oil, it's just the last 0.1%, and if I'm really hearing a problem, I'll try and play with it, but no, it doesn't actually make as big a difference, I think, as people say. There's a bit of psychoacoustic. Someone's told you it makes a difference, so it makes more of a difference then. So yeah, no. Right, the main thing here for me is there's a kind of honkiness in the guitar. there. So that can go. Yes, so if you're using that in mastering, that will make a difference because you're blasting it with a full mix. This is coming in at roughly -20, -25 dB. It's not even going to make the transformer saturate in that. It's just, no. And this is quite a gentle mix as well, so it's not the kind of thing that's going to stand out to me at all. It's not worth me spending any brain power on it, so I just move on, you know? Ooh. Nice little trick that I can do there is this little Unity button means I can drive this a little bit without making it louder. So I'm now going to... This sounds quite flat and in my face, so I'm going to add this quite a bit to the room reverb. And a tiny little bit to the plate. Tiny bit, tiny bit. Let's find ourselves a nice plate. I don't like starting with presets, but we'll go with large, dark vocal. Because the names for the plates, like, how am I supposed to know what beryllium sounds like? But I know that I like the sound of a good plate, so... That sounds really quite nice. I'm not trying to fix anything in the guitar there. There's some little kind of zings and things. But I've got the Lindell 80 channel. And I'm going to bring in that slate tape on top of that. So as if I was recording from that nice Neve desk from the Lindell straight onto tape. And then we're just playing it back off tape. So VST3. And for all of these, I'm going to make sure in the settings that noise reduction's on, because we don't want that. That it's the slower kind of tape, the worst kind of tape, and the 16-track tape. Which, they all make very, very subtle differences, but we're going to be spreading this across 20-odd tracks. It's not all about kind of virtuosity, but... Plus, when that's stacked up over several, that'll be right. Anyway, let's mute that for a second and go over to this vocal.
Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon.
Because this one I really want to treat. So this is going to take the... I've just copied the Lindell channel over, but I'm going to zero that EQ out and just listen. Really take the low end out of this. Let's start at 70. I'm just getting rid of the rumble for now.
Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon watching Glee.
Right, I'm using the Slate VSX at the moment, and for now, I'm going to switch from using these speakers to the just flat headphones because the kind of binaural thing is messing with my sense of space a little bit. When there's a big mix going on, it's really good for the ears, but as it is, it's messing with me, so...
Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon.
That's sounding really nice, but now this is where I do want to... This is the main vocal, so this is going to have the most compression out of any vocal on this. So I played around with this earlier, and I'm going to go with this, and the bulk of this is going to be done with the Slate FG2A.
Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon,
And then
watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon, for a night, maybe more, and it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days filed away in your life. Head first, the stories can go. Warm thing.
there we go. So this particular track, like I said, that probably sounds a little heavily compressed right now, but this is going to kind of sit on top. And the quieter sections of this, I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that. Hopefully they will barely touch the needles on that compressor. And then when we've got the rest of the mix going around it, that should then work. So I'm going to copy that tape machine across, and I'm probably going to do that for all of these.
Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon, watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon, for a night, maybe more, and it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days filed away in your life. Head first, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things.
Yeah, you say it sounds a bit artificial, but this is the way that something like a Joni Mitchell early 70s production would have been. You would have used the 76 and an LA2A onto a tape. And I won't be compressing the other tracks as much, so they will breathe and have the dynamics around this centerpiece. So it probably sounds a little bit overdone now, but I've got the rest of the track in mind. Context is important. If there were not the other tracks, I would definitely back off that compression to let it be a little more. What's the word? A little more organic. But even then, organic isn't saying much because neither of these is going crazy.
First, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things.
Now I'm playing those together, I'm hearing more of that stuffiness on the guitar. So might have to back that down to that.
First, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things.
And that's not even got the plate on it yet. So let's just add the plate to the vocal. And I'm going to go right back to the start. This is going to sound like way too much, I think, but let's try it.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living.
More snare, yeah. Oh, we'll get snare later. Don't worry about that. But it's not a snare. That's the fun bit.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze. living through the surreal, and it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things
Yeah, I'm not going to use the desk compression on the vocal. It doesn't need it on top of the other two.
of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go.
Right, so we've still at no point here gone above -8, just peak, which is great. So now we really kick this mix in. Let's bring in the other guitars. So the other guitars are named nicely, which I'll just hide the mixer for a second. That certainly helps us. Let's just solo all these. That one, for some reason, is a stereo track, but it's just the left one. Let's just put a few more dBs on this. Ah, right. Hold the phone, hold the phone. There are actually two guitars that are main guitars. So guitar main right. How do I process my audio? Sounds so good. Well, step number one, get a really great performance. Step two, be methodical. Just think your way through any what's the word? Think your way through any signal chains that you're using. So now I've actually got two guitars here, and they can go hard left, not hard left, but 75 left, 75 right. And let's just see how that feels.
Berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be
Institutional beige walls. That's partly that there's a rubbish old energy saver light bulb up there, but that's going to be a nicer colour. That wall is going to have a lot more interesting stuff on it. Yeah, I'm not going to be sound treating this room, but there is going to be a lot more stuff in there. You can probably hear a bit of echo in here, but I've literally got my desk half set up. There's piles of crap on the floor. Oh yeah, well the MV7 is actually it's on USB. It's using its own processing, and then I've got Voxformer doing a little extra on there, but that's just OBS magic. Yeah.
Look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes only a matter of time. 'Cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold.
Sounds good. So now I've got 4 more guitars to add into this mix. So I've got guitar left. I've got guitar right. I'm going to put them together as pairs because it looks like, and that should be mono left, and that one is, yeah. Could I boost the Reaper volume to streaming? I could. Maybe I could turn myself down a little. Just turn your headphones up, everybody, because this is the dynamics of this song. I'm not going to compress it. anyway, these are kind of like feature guitars. So I am going to bring these up. I'm using the clip gain type thing, if that's what you were doing Pro Tools right now. I'm just going to split this and get rid of the silence up till then so I can see what's going on better. And then there's another 2 guitars that start around there, so I'm just going to delete the silence out of those so I can see it. And then let's just listen to one of these for a second. There we go. I'm going to folder in folder. So, guitar 2. Now that I know that they're all in pairs, it makes my life a little easier if I just make a folder and do that. Oop. That's guitar 3. Oh, not 4. 3. And this one is guitar 2. So I only want to solo these 2, get them in that group. And now I can put the tape on there and copy all the settings across. Now I'm going to open the channel strip. I want this one to be... no wonder the other one didn't get any high boost on it. The high boost was actually off. So with these being additional guitars, I've taken more low end out. I've boosted the top end, and I'm going to give the plate a real push. Now, let's have a listen to the main guitars. I'm just going to mute and just see how these come in. They might hit too loud. Yeah, let's just go back to the main part of the mix and just brighten these guitars up a bit.
Ooh, this real, and it's all...
Right, so I know that these 2 are actually the same now, so I'm just going to copy the settings over, delete all the settings, and then bring these into a little group. Not just because it means that I'm using less CPU power, but it means I've only got to change 1 set of controls instead of 2. So now, that big boost there, I'm going to just turn that off, bring it back to 10 kilohertz, and just...
Ooh, this real, and it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you on, where a warm thing is waiting, cooled life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you of time, till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. Head first, the stories can go.
I'm going to compress these quite hard if I can. I cannot. Let's turn the fader down on these and just push the input. There we go. I can see it on here on the level that the compression is starting to kick in now. Well, let's turn it off. let's hear guitar 3. Right, so I'm actually going to take out the low end cut here and really give them a low end kind of whack. Just boost them quite a bit. Oh, that's heavy.
Warm places keep you safe, keep you living.
There we go. And another thing is trim your edits. Make sure it's... There we go. Make sure you've not got extraneous cack.
Warm thing.
I'm going to turn snap off. And I'm just going to cut these guitars so they come in right there. And I'm actually going to cut the vocals so we don't even hear that breath. So that the... So the intro to the song is...
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside. Look out.
Right, and now I start to bring in the kind of the choir, as it were. This is where it gets interesting. This may require a certain amount of automation, but let's just unmute all of you. Hit play. And trim them all so that they come in here. They're all very quiet, so yes. More gain on the preamps on the interface, Erin. Don't be afraid of it, it won't bite you. How is she able to monitor herself with volume so low? Either the headphone volume is up, or she's just really, really good, or both. So that's... hard pan that one just because. Slightly pan that. And then the last two don't have anything for a little while. But those seem like they need to go a little further out. Lovely. Headphones are definitely up, yes. Yes, so if you look at your monitoring meters in Logic, when you can see when you're recording, give it a whatever volume you're going to give it. It's a rough guess because you don't always know, but try and roughly guess if it's all quiet. Just give it some quiet and look for turning the gain up until you're at minus 18-ish, minus 16-ish. Then you know you're right. You can probably turn your headphones down a bit at that point. But yeah. Testament to the Audion ID4 Mark II that you could turn your headphones up that high. progress. Alright, so I've just dropped another Lindell 80 channel on this, but we're going to completely start this from scratch. So I'm going to Unity it. That seems about right. All the EQs just straight back to 0. Because that'll help me decide. Some songs are mixed where you can't hear the breathing on the vocal at all. Done with a limiter? No. That's either done with a debreather, an intelligent gate, or just manual editing. You can go through and you can manually edit vocals so the breaths aren't there. It takes you a long time, but it's doable. And on a mix where you're really, really, really compressing vocals to make them sit on top of a mix, but you don't want the breaths, that's what you do. That's where, like, you can select the default preset to reset the plugin. Yes, you can. I did not forget that. I wanted to see what it was doing and kind of feel it out myself. But thank you.
And it's only a matter of time. 'Cause the dog barks and beckons to you. Where a warm thing is waiting called life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm thing. Warm thing.
I can hear a boomf. Where? There, somewhere. I'm just going to hold down shift and press up. I've not turned the channels up, I've just zoomed in. And I can see that big thump. So that big thump is going to go. Yeah, dog barking is not a problem. Dog barking is fine. Dog barking is nice. It's actually kind of cute in a way. But thump, not so good. So I'm just zooming in and I'm just cutting out anything here that is potentially a big problem. So now I can zoom back out. There we go. So yeah, that's a nice tip for people as well, is there's another. There you go. Can you hear that thump? Let's just see if taking that out with the filter. Yeah, I can take that all out with a more aggressive low end filter. That's fine.
See a better day places.
Right, so let's put that in the room a little bit. Let's just give these a nice colour as well, just because we can. Ooh, pretty yellow. And a slightly different yellow to the main vocal. How appropriate. I'm going to move these over now to be nearer the main vocal, because I can. And I'm going to fold this folder down, because I'm probably not going to be putting anything on the individual tracks. Oh. But I'm going to add a lot of plate to this.
Keep you warm things, warm places. Keep you
Oh, good question about the Lindell and the TMT models. Yeah, I probably will do that actually. It's just an extra layer of niceness. In fact, you know what? Let's do that now. There's the random all button, which just kind of does a crazy kind of, this is now on an analog desk and it's all slightly different. It's subtle, but I do like it.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry, standing takes an age.
Okay, so this is where I will add another mix rack, and I'm going to add an LA2A over this group, but I'm going to be very, very sparing with it. It's not going to do anything, hopefully, on this section, and then just as it comes in, it'll just catch it.
Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Things. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm thing.
Right, and that's another thing I noticed is that the way that I tend to work is a little different from a lot of people. I don't like having like main vocals that go verse, chorus on different tracks, but I like to have like, this is my main vocal, this is my backing vocal, this is my choral vocals or whatever.
See a better day, and it's only a matter of time.
And the reason I mention it is that these vocals
Warm thing.
are quite different to the rest of the chorus. So what I'm going to do is add 2 tracks in my main vocal group. And this is kind of what I was expecting earlier. So I'm going to just drag these sections out and put snap on. And it's only a matter of time. And I'm going to put them up. So they now drop out of the choral group and they can be processed quite differently.
Living through the surreal, and it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks.
There we go. So these can be
It's only a matter of time.
quite hard panned. And I'll just subfolder these because it's easier. Backing vocals, and I'm just going to start by copying across everything I have on the main vocal, but I can do things like I can whack up the amount of plate reverb.
It's only a matter of time.
Too much.
It's only a matter of time.
And probably back off the 76.
And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home.
I'm liking that. Probably even less low end, so I'll bring 110 less
And it's only a matter of time.
There we go. No need to absolutely kill it. I just don't want too much low end in these secondary vocals. I want the main one to have that kind of meat, so to speak. Shuffle that again and again. And let's just try that with the main vocal.
And it's only a matter of time.
Because now that they've been brought to the forefront a bit more, they give it more authority on the chorus. They might not need to be this loud.
And it's only a matter of time. Cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places.
This is really starting to come to life now, because that gives it that kind of more tempestuous authority on the chorus. But when we get back to the verse, it's got that nice, homely, nice thing going on. I'm overly using the word nice, I know, but it actually accurately reflects what I think the mood should be. Now, we're going to not use those... but now, this is where it gets tricky. This is where we get the drum group. And I say drums. These are all... come on, mouse. There we go. I'm using an old book as a mouse pad because I've thrown this completely together. So I usually have my drum group at the top. So I'm going to do that just out of habit. And I'm going to unmute these now. And I'm quickly going to do the strip silence thing. Just auto trim, split remove. -70, just so I can see. There we go, that's better. Okay. So, this is going to sound quite kind of big and ugly. So that's really kind of cool, but just a bit weird. So let's listen to these kicks. So the drum group is going to have a similar kind of treatment as all the other stuff, where it's going to have a Lindell 80 channel and a virtual tape, because it's being recorded straight to tape. But that's on the group this time. So this is a good opportunity for me to use. What am I doing? Noise off. Set in all instances. That helps. I can change that later. Presets. Where am I looking for presets? Are they not up here somewhere? Oh, it is right at the top. I'm just being stupid. Okay. So I'm just going to drive this a little bit at Unity. And I'm going to put the whole thing on the plate and on the room reverb just a little bit, just to gel it in with the rest of the mix. So I've got kick 1 and kick 2. I'm liking kick 1. Kick 2 sounds like it needs a little bit of EQ work. And this is where I'm just going to go with what I know, which is the 4000E series. There, that I'm not a big fan of. There we go. So I've just taken some of that knocking away and just added some low end. So now the two work. I'm just going to individually whack that out to the plate and then turn it down.
of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing
I'm going to pan it off to the side a little bit.
of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home.
I love that. That's just a zip. Let's listen to this hits. What does that do here?
Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away.
Yeah, that's got some low end issues. That's better. I'm going to pan this off to the left a little bit. Okay, so hits 1 and 3 I'll have to come back to, but I've got hits 4 here. Another one that's got loads of low end in it. That's slightly more knocky now, so I'm going to pan that up to the right a little bit. But not massively, just enough. They're starting to get a funky groove together. The scrapes, I'm going to move the scrapes and these two hits to the bottom because they come in later, so that just helps me not forget about them. I've got 2 snares. Right, so, okay. These want to have some real authority to them. So I don't want to take any low end out of them. So I've just added some low mid to that and some ultra high. And let's just see. There's a second one as well. So yeah, so I'm going to copy that SSL channel over. I'm using SSLs for this sub kind of channels here because SSL stuff's a lot more, in my experience, a lot more clinical, a lot more precise, but also gives me more punch rather than more thickness and fatness. Let's try these two together now. They're cool, but way too loud now. Let's give them a load more plate reverb, and they should now go instead of dock. There we go. So there's loads of reverb on them. But in the mix, that makes them go instead of. And my mod Marty is asking, so what did you use as the drums to record them? I'm interested as well. I'd like to hear. The last one for now, until I come back to it, is this zip. And that's brilliant because that is literally a zip. I can even hear it. So this just needs all its low end taking out for a start. And there's something in the low mids that needs to go as well. More high end and a bit of compression. I might have to use my combination of the box for the ID4 and a case for some paintbrushes. Brilliant. Okay, what I'm going to do here is a funky little plugin called Micro Shift. Suddenly this zip is going to sound super stereo. Because it kind of does this clever delay pitch shifty thing that's very subtle. But let's try that in with the other drums. Yeah, that's really cool. So what's this? Scrape?
See it better.
Literally had one thing on it.
See a better day. Grab your bike.
What's hits number 1? Oh, it's hits number 3. Comes in first.
Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact, waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more, and it's only a matter of time.
Right, so that's the lead in. So that needs quite a lot of low end, I think. And some compression at 5:1. Maybe not so much sub, I'm just taking that out to 100-ish.
And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away your life. At first, warm places keep you safe, keep you living.
Cool. So I'm now going to switch my VSX back to my normal listening, and we'll have a quick listen through and see where we're at, because now I'll start to hear, like, those drums sounded cool, but now there's some fine tuning needs to be done. The fine tuning's what will really make it, I think, but I've done a lot of the groundwork now, so let's see what we got.
Warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal, and it's only a matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go.
Okay, so the general thing is those drums just come in with just too much.
Matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things. Matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, and it's only a matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things.
Cool, so I just pushed up those second vocals there, not the choir yet. I might just...
And it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I'll just push... I'm going to take snap off. I'm going to push the... sorry, itchy nose. The chorus backing the choir vocal up just from that O, just by a dB, just so it really stands out.
Time. With the dog barks and beckons you home. With the dog barks and beckons.
Actually, no, I'm going to bring it back down after that first O, because that's the big impact.
It's only a matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, go.
Might be that these two need to come down a little still.
It's only a matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places. A matter of time.
Those guitars need a bit more stridency, I think. There we go. Those guitars now get brighter in that chorus.
A matter of time. With the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places. Keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places. Keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time.
Alright, so that when that comes in, that's a completely different sound and is way too loud.
The afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more, and maybe more.
That is like an elephant.
Maybe more, and it's only a matter of time.
I think that just needs all the high end taken out.
Maybe more, and it's only a matter of time.
it's got a stuffiness down the low end.
And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up. Days fall.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a weird thing to it that needs to come out. There we go, I was driving the tape a bit too hard. And I think I might need a copy of Soothe on the overall rhythm just to tame any big spiky spikies. And what do you know, without me doing very much at all, it's already made things just that little bit nicer.
Time till the night calls and wraps you up, and the days fall the way in your life. At first the stories can go warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living.
Yeah, it's something that was literally recorded at home. This is really starting to come together. Shut up, that's Dropbox moaning at me. Let's have another listen through now, see if the percussion catches my ear. Now I've kind of tamed it all down.
Warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cooled life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm thing, the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cooled life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm thing.
It's coming together. Good question from Danny. This is quite a bit different from the usual pop punk mixes. Do you approach this differently from pop punk and metal? And the answer is yes and no. I do approach it differently, that I'm not trying to go for maximum impact. But my methodical approach isn't that different. It's start with the main elements, imagine the end point in my mind, try and get there by whatever means necessary. What do I have already? How do I get to the end? Like, if the way that Erin had recorded this, if she had like a nice valve preamp and a nice compressor already on her side, I would listen to that. I'd hear that compression. I wouldn't then add any more. I also just, I always tend to approach music with the end goal in mind because I can kind of hear the way that something in a certain genre would be produced, and I tend to work towards that goal. It's a bit weird, but it works for me, and I do really like working in this kind of more relaxed, more thick kind of acoustic-y genre. It appeals to me. I'm a big fan of the Decemberists and things like that.
Dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go.
I'm going to see what happens if I completely hard pan those two extra vocals.
And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go.
Yeah, I might.
And it's only a matter of time.
That's what I wanted to take out there. No reamping with the rev for this one. Those two extra vocals, I want more of them, but I don't want any more of the mid-range.
And it's only a matter of time.
So those sound a little bit far back in the mids, but the main vocal will carry that.
And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cold life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things,
I'm just pushing the high end on all the choir stuff.
keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things,
Right, so what I'm thinking here is I'm really going to build tension by just pushing this choir, really, really pushing it. I think I'll automate the lead vocal at the end. No. I'm going to automate the choir around it. I was thinking about pushing it up a little bit here, but I don't think I will because the choir is supposed to come up around it. Having heard the rough mix again, I have the context.
It's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you
go. Now that, yeah, I'm not turning that up at the end because that keeps the dynamics. Do I listen to rap? Not really. Sorry. I stopped working on rap several years ago because it's not my genre. And there are a lot of people who do that a lot better than me. So, yeah. Last rap album I listened to was probably Dre's 2001. I'm about as white as you get. At least I'm being honest. I'm sure there are plenty of great rappers out there, but it's not really my thing.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting cool to life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living.
I think we pretty much got there. Good job, everybody. Question from George. When you're mixing for a client and, for instance, you feel the percussion doesn't work, do you tell them to redo the percussion or do you attempt to fix yourself? I attempt to fix... I don't attempt to fix it myself. I make it work. You've asked me a very specific question, which is when I'm mixing for a client. When I'm mixing for a client, they've sent me the tracks with the sole intention of, this is what I want. Make it sound the best you can. If I'm producing for a client, I have the authority then to say, look, this isn't working. Let's change this. Okay. in the middle part of the sound, the lead sounds a little too compressed. Well, I like it. Remember, everybody, this is not a stream where you decide what I do. This is where I show you what I am doing. It's a sound I like. And it works. So there you go. Yes. This is stuff that I would be doing anyway. I'm just taking you all along for the ride. So, yeah. I'm just showing you what I do. And I like it like that. I don't want it to be any more dynamic in that section because we've got all of that to deal with. And all of that to deal with. We've got all these drums. We've got all this crazy, crazy stuff going on. It cannot be more dynamic than that. Not in the way that I want it to work. So, there we go. Let's make it pink. Pink drums. Backing vocals need a colour. Let's make all these vocals a different colour. Sounds better if it's a different colour. And let's go back to this whole Lindell TMT thing. Apparently, what it does is it makes every channel sound slightly different. There we go. There we go. I mean, feel free to ask questions at any point. Questions are always welcome. If you phrase it as a question, I can always give you a good answer. And there's every chance you might change my mind about something. But I've had people backseat mixing for years, generally clients, going, and you should do that, you should do this. And then invariably, the thing that I've been told to do by the person who's not in my seat with my mindset, that's usually the bit that doesn't sound so good on the next listen back. And also, things like that are what make it my style. There are so many mixing engineers that I look up to as heroes, guys like Andrew Sheps, Chris Lord-Alge, Tom Lord-Alge, Andy Snape, etc., 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 who do things I would not do. But it makes them who they are, and it means they have the identifiable sound. And what I do is I learn from those people, and I go, well, if I wanted to do the thing they're doing, that's how I would do it. Now let's do the thing my way that gets in that ballpark, but pretty much sounds like something I would do. I love rich mids. I like quite a lot of compression. There are things that I do that other mix engineers would not do, and that's okay. And if you feel like that would be done slightly differently, if you know that in your heart of hearts and you're not just asking questions because you're new, by all means do it differently. And that's great and that's fine. And I more than welcome it. You know, I guarantee you, if I got 20 of the top mixing engineers in the world to mix this song, it would sound different from all of them. And I think that's fascinating enough. That, like, I could give this to Andy Wallace and Andy Snape and all those other guys I mentioned and more, and yeah, it would come out completely differently. So yeah. Also, yeah, if you're not meaning to backseat mix, I get it. I've done it before. Just keep in mind that how you type things does come across in certain ways. I'm not upset. I'm not offended. It's a good moment for me to make an interesting point, because it's something that I've had quite a lot. It's water off a duck's back to me. I used to work in retail. This is great. This is brilliant. And you know, if the worst thing that I have to contend with is somebody from the back shouting, "You should turn this up," I shouldn't complain really, because this is brilliant. But yeah, I think it's just a point that's worth bringing up. So let's have a listen to what we do have.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside. Look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cool to life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living.
Fantastic. I'm really quite happy with that. Now, if Erin's still watching, if you're still there, is there anything that you would like me to change? Because this is, of course, the whole artist mixer relationship. So if there's anything that you would like me to change, now's a good time to say. In the meantime, got a question from Jay Wester. Would you do it differently depending on what media mixes for, vinyl, streaming, and CD? My answer is no. That's what happens at the mastering stage. For me, the two are very separate, and that is literally what mastering is for. Mastering is for when you have a mix, which is a very creative process, and you take that creative thing that's either been finished digitally or on a big, like, half-inch tape or whatever, and you then try and make that work on different output formats and make it sound like it belongs on those output formats. So you would master for vinyl. So you would do things like you would mono the bass, and you would make sure there's probably an extra de-esser on, and that kind of thing. Do you find yourself using delays in this music style? No, not really. Not unless the artist themselves has chosen to use a delay as part of the song, which quite a few do. I usually find that they, at that point, will tap tempo it and play along with it. But in this kind of acoustic singer-songwriter sort of genre, I would stay away from delay, because it's a very obvious effect, and the repeats there can give a feel that isn't too analog, I guess. I mean, It depends. If we're going more into slightly more 70s style, I might use a little bit of like a slapback tape delay on the vocal, but I wouldn't use a ping pong or rhythmical delay in this type of genre. Percussion in the second verse. Right now you can only hear the kick. There should be a kick that comes halfway through, just adding some power. Okay. There we go. But yeah, I wouldn't even really use a slap delay in this kind of genre unless it fit with the aesthetic that the artist wanted. But again, that's a conversation thing. For me, the right reverbs can be very unobtrusive and fit with the feel of this type of thing. I did turn down the kick in the second verse.
It's the afternoon.
Because they didn't have that, that thing. They didn't have the thump. What I might do now, actually, is I'll pitch these down an octave and see if that does what we were thinking. Because before it was kind of a knock, 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 which didn't really do the kick thing. Let's try 2 octaves down. If you ask me for changes, I'm not asking you for changes, thank you. I'm asking Erin for changes. Who is the artist?
It's the afternoon. Watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon. For a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time. Till the night calls and wraps you up close.
There we go. Yeah, that had to go down by 2 octaves. But yeah, Reaper's pretty cool for that. In Reaper, they're all live pitched down. But yeah, there you go.
It's the afternoon. Watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon. Watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon.
There's a few of these here, actually, that just feel a little bit late. That is kind of pulling the tempo around, so I'm just going to play with that a little bit.
Watching Glee, binging stories. Binging stories. Warmth will be here soon.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull these around because it feels like not off tempo, but it's sort of slightly late. It's pulling things around.
Watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon. For a night, maybe more.
That one's a little
For
early.
a night, maybe more. Maybe more. Maybe more. And it's only.
There we go. Is there any pitch capability like that in Logic? Yes, there is. Pretty sure. I don't know if you can do it on the fly, but you can definitely process with pitch in Logic. In fact, I'm pretty sure because this was recorded in Logic. So that's definitely what Erin did on the woomph type things. Although that big woomph there, that looks like it was
Till the night calls.
recorded in like that. Now I've got the track to this stage. When I bounce the track down, I'll listen to it before sending to the client. Sometimes it depends. Before I got these Slate VSX headphones, I would do that every time, where I would then export it, listen on a phone, listen on my home stereo, listen in the car. I can shortcut a lot of that now by listening over and over in different rooms in this magical wizard of a thing. You guys can't hear this, but every time I change one of these, like that's now Howie Weinberg's mastering room. I hear it differently, but you don't.
Of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first, the stories can go.
So yeah, the one thing that if this was me, I would change is I would probably add a bass part which, again, with a conversation, oh look, a bass. I might do that in the future maybe, but this is specifically a song that was recorded to demonstrate the Audient ID4 Mark II and the Lewitt 440 Pure. So if I start adding instrumentation that starts to cloud the mix, that then kind of takes away from it almost. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. Not in this case anyway. This is what it is. I mean, that section there is what someone like Ed Sheeran live, when he's going full tilt with his looper and stacking and stacking and stacking, that's the kind of level he would get to. Why the insides of the tracks different colours? Right. So this is what's called spectral peaks. I have this on spectral peaks mode. If you look closely at these, that is a sibilant. That's a kind of upper mid. That's a sibilant right there. That's some kind of noise. On the kick, you can hear the woomph, and if I zoom in, that's blue. That's the sub. So spectral peaks mode in Reaper. I'm struggling with my mouse because I'm using a makeshift placeholder. Is if I go to view peaks display settings, it's over there. I can go back to regular old boring looking peaks, or I can go to spectral peaks, or I can go to spectrograms, which are less useful in my opinion in this case, where it shows you. It'll take forever to generate this, but it gives you full proper spectrograms on everything, which is kind of cool. It just takes a little while to do. But yeah, I could look at the files like this when it eventually... Yeah, I could look at them like that, like you get in things like Isotopes RX, which is cool, but I prefer having it like this. So I can see them as you would usually, as we've seen in DAWs for the past 20 plus years, but with the extra dimension of colour. It's like seeing the Matrix after a while. It's amazing that I can see when there's too much sibilance on a vocal. I can literally see it. I can see when there's a cough, when there's a spike, when there's a sub problem. Earlier on in the stream, if you watch this on VOD, you'll notice that I heard in the choir section over here somewhere, there was a thump. There was a low, like, microphone stand bump. And because I'm on Spectral Peaks mode, I saw it. What is the Matrix? Surely you've seen the film. Surely you've seen the film. If you've not, watch the film. I sincerely hope you are trolling me. But yeah, let's have another look at the master bus, because now I can have a little bit more thickness on it. I don't think I need a copy of Soothe on the master, because that would just be overkill. I can definitely use black box and just gently give it a little kiss.
Red berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze. Keep you safe, keep you living.
Cool. And the last things I'm going to do on here, I'm going to use... Have I got Waves WM? Yeah, I have WLM Plus. I actually don't want the Plus version of this. I don't use many Waves plugins, but... Yeah, I don't need half of this, so I'm just going to use the regular WLM, which doesn't change the sound. It's just something that shows me volume levels and all that clever stuff. So at this point, it is going to get a bit louder. Fair warning, everybody. I'm going to use Kazrog's K-clip. Just going to make everything just a bit louder with a whole decibel of ceiling. And this is just to get it up to kind of radio levels. I'm not going to go rock mix louder this. It doesn't need it. But I'm probably going to try and hover around the 14 dB-ish mark. Minus 14 integrated.
You are close, and the days fall away in your life. At first, the stories can go.
Right, so I'm going to play this through. I'm going to look at the long-term loudness, but I'm hoping this is no louder than minus 14 at the absolute loudest, because this is not a rock mix. This doesn't even have a bass in it. This doesn't need to be any louder than a certain volume. But we're just going for a kind of a radio-ready. When I export this, it's not even going to touch the top. I don't think. At one point, that clipped 0.1 dB. That's probably the most I want this to clip. This is almost like a safety guard. This is me turning up the volume and not wanting this to distort at all. Here we go.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting cool to life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first, the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places keep you safe, keep you living.
I'll take it. Rough average of -19 with a dB of -4. I'll push it a few more and we'll just see if that does anything that we really don't like. Because like I said, I don't want it to actually clip. Movie's going okay. It's still going. I mean, if I showed you a wider shot of this room, you'd see how it's an absolute mess. But I wanted to just get on and do a stream tonight just to get my sanity back. When you choose a clipper instead of a limiter, it's largely preference. I like clippers over limiters recently. I just like the sound of them, and it's my mixes have become fairly well compressed before we even get to the limit stage. That a lot of the time I barely even touch it, and quite often I find that snares especially come through on clippers better. So yeah, let's just check this section out near the end with another few dB on the clipper at the end. There we go. That started to clip a good couple of dB off, so I've backed that right down. And that'll do. Let's just load up the EBU preset, so the European R28 LUFS 9. Now that's interesting. Ben says, yeah, better to avoid clippers as the lathe doesn't like it in vinyl. That is interesting. Again, I try and make sure that my mixes are fairly well controlled before any kind of limiting. And that means that generally, in my experience, vinyl mastering engineers tend to kind of like what I do, because I'm not trying to get like a 30 dB snare spike on there, because of course that would just make a needle jump. So I think, barring any other changes, I'm going to get rid of WL. Oh, that explains a lot. Let's put WALM plus after the clipper. Idiot. Right, so it seems my original intuition of this being about a 3.6 dB push was right after all. The FX chain order is important.
Keep you safe, keep you living.
It's like taking your temperature with the wrong end of the thermometer. Yes, quite. Well, that means we get to do another run through of this. I'm going to reset everything, and we're going to play it through, and we're going to watch the long-term LUFS, short-term, and the dynamic range, because this song's got quite a lot of dynamic range, and I love it.
Warm things, warm places, keep you safe.
Yeah, Yes, I'm very human, Marty. Very.
Living warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Take a step outside, look at trees, look at berries with two brimming eyes. It's a breeze to be merry. Standing takes an age, so the world becomes real, hung in one slow gaze, living through the surreal. And it's only a matter of time, 'cause the dog barks and beckons you home, where a warm thing is waiting, cool to life. Feet first, the berries can go. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. Warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living. See a better day. Grab your bike, grab your backpack, learn the time away. Come home cold and intact. Waste the afternoon watching Glee, binging stories. Warmth will be here soon for a night, maybe more. And it's only a matter of time till the night calls and wraps you up close, and the days fall away in your life. At first the stories can go. Warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm things, warm places, keep you safe, keep you living.
Cool. There was just a crunch just near the end.
Warm things.
And it must have been either in my head or just the computer on a stutter. Because that's fine. Great. Yeah, the dynamic range was 10 to 11. Long term was absolutely fine. Didn't even hit the clipper at true peak. Yes, all the tracks were done with the Lewitt 440 Pure. All through an Audient ID4 Mark II. And all tracked about 20 dB too quiet, but the noise floor is so ridiculously low that it's not a problem. I mean, that's impressive. Ow. Sorry, that mark there's a chemical burn from oven cleaner. Ended up getting on my arm for about 10 minutes. Eesh. But yeah, that sounds really good. And it's got, like I was saying at the start of the stream, it's got the dynamic range. It feels like it gets bigger and gets quieter, but it doesn't have these big 20 to 30 dB valleys and troughs of volume. You can hear it. You could probably listen to this in the car on a drive and still hear the big bits and quiet bits. But it feels like it gets bigger and it feels like it gets quieter. And that's the art of, the compression in the right place and a little bit of automation and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to render that out now and send that to Erin. She's probably not going to hear it till the morning now, but yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be back. And hopefully that thing with the purple lights in the corner, which is my new amp rack. You're going to see more on there because I've got space I can reach. This office is so much better. And it's mostly going to be our storage room and second bedroom as well. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. But honestly, I mean, that we've been doing this 2 hours and I've been taking my time on it. I was given material that was easy to mix. Makes life easy. So yeah. Hope you've all enjoyed it. I certainly have. It's good to be back. And hopefully we'll be on to a more regular streaming schedule quite soon. I've got a new song to mix for Sky Asylum, as well as everything else that I've got going on. I've got 2 interviews to release on the channel from Rev Amplification and 2 Notes. And then I'll be back on the horse soon with finishing off that massive Celestian video. And yeah, there's so much to come. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.
Hey everyone, that might be the end of the video, but if you fancy carrying on this conversation, we have a Discord server, link is in the description. We're also on Patreon, which is something you can really help us with. We also are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Hot Pole Studios. See you there.